Welcome back to Worldview. Now, it took the USA 11 years from their declaration of independence to the formation of a stable constitutional government after their Revolutionary War in 1776, so Egypt can be forgiven for needing a little bit more than 2.5 years. Last week, the military removed the Morsi government in what many call a coup. It may very well be. However, Morsi's rise to power saw only 25% of the Egyptian population vote for him in the last election. Now, it's said the people were not being particularly well represented. The economy was in a shambles, and they objected to a hard-right theocratic turn by his government. So once again, they took to the streets by the many millions on the one-year anniversary of President Morsi's swearing in to demand that he now go. And when it comes to understanding the differences between the Muslim and Arab world post 9/11, there are few more expert than our guest today, Ahmed Tharwat. He helps us understand what's really happening in Egypt and across the Middle East and Persia. A native Egyptian, Ahmed has traveled to his birth country extensively from his home in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He's the host there and producer of the Arab-Muslim-American TV show Beladan, which translates in English to With Open Arms, and he's a contributor to public radio's All Things Considered. Ahmed is a regular contributor to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, the Pioneer Press, and Twin City Planet, as well as national and international magazines including Slate, Diversify, Inc., and Al Jazeera English. Ahmed Tharwat, it's a pleasure to welcome you back to Worldview.
Good to be here, Dennis. Thank you so much for having me on a Sunday morning where you guys are playing tennis. The Egyptian playing a different game there.
Well, they certainly are. Let's start with where we are today, since it is Sunday, the 7th of July. What is the situation right now in Egypt, and how are the Egyptian people reacting to last week's events?
Well, the situation is very fluid and it's changing every hour, but it seems like the military is back in full control. And I think, if anything, that the revolution done in the last 2.5 years was trying to get rid of the military, get rid of the old regime. And they were willing to put up with Morsi and the Brotherhood to keep the old regime and Flul and Mubarak deep state out of the picture. But it seems Morsi and his party and his goons underestimated the people's, energy and people's demand for real change, and the fear of having the Brotherhood playing the same role as Mubarak's, that really, the coming hegemony on the whole state. And I think that's the most damaging things for Morsi and Brotherhood, that people felt that their state, Egyptians believe in the state, believe in center stability, and they dismantle the old one, and they do want another one by the name of religion, and I think having and asking the military to come back to protect the revolution, this is, I just don't understand it that well. We just got rid of the military that courted Morsi coming to power, and the Brotherhood are the one now asked to get rid of them. So this is a little bit confusing to a lot of people. Is it a coup? Is it it's interesting that you announce the coup in advance. This is the first time in history. The Egyptians are, they surprise you all the time.
We did have, the same thing happen here back during the Falkland crisis. We gave 2 weeks notice for a coming war. So, things do change. It was interesting to see 2 days into his new job that the head of the Supreme Court, 2 days as the head of Supreme Court, now is suddenly in this huge promotion to president of an entire country. And then you have Mohamed ElBaradei, who was widely dismissed during that first revolution by the people, has been installed as the interim prime minister. How lucky is that, or what's exactly going on there? What is that?
I think this young revolution is still don't have the confidence in their own revolution. This is their chance. When you talk about 30 million people on the street, this is their chance to dictate with a new vision to this old shoe. You talk about the Baradei of all people, and now they are talking about he is not the only choice now. Probably there is a kind of awakening that he really wasn't the right man for the job. So there is talk now about finding some alternative. And then otherwise, the Salafi, Hizb al-Noor, the Noor party, which is a Salafi party, was adamant about refusing that choice. So that, and then they have the Tamarrud now talking about ElBaradei, their choice, and I might not endorse any other choice. So now it's getting interesting. You know, the military really succeeded in dicing and dividing the revolution. January 25th, everybody was there. Now it's a brotherhood and secular, left, Flul, now Baradei, anti-Baradei. So it really, the great winner of all this is the military, and the great losers is those young people who launched the revolution, and maybe Egypt altogether.
Well, General Sisi was very careful to choreograph this move as having the support of the Muslim, the Coptic, and that first resistance group with ElBaradei, so to speak. Is that going to work?
I don't know. He looks like somebody say when he brought the head of the Adhar and the head of the Coptic church, and he's standing like you guys, you're king in the medieval time. I don't know how experienced General Sisi is. I mean, this is the same guy who denied all wrongdoing by the military. He denied the virginity test. I mean, his record is not that clear either. And I don't know who's really behind all this. There is a huge movement now in Egypt, thinking that the Sisi now is the new Nasser, is the new hero, that they're going to save Egypt from the Brotherhood and from America. Now we hear about the Sisi now defeated Obama's project in the Middle East and their support of the Brotherhood, and they accuse Obama of being a Brotherhood. And they, maybe was the first time they agree with Michelle Bachmann that actually maybe she is up to something, that Obama is one of the Brotherhood. It's really very interesting and fascinating. And I'm watching this, I'm confused, but I'm intrigued. But I think a little bit helpful because people have a change, they broke the fear, and they might not get it right at the first time, but eventually Egyptian, they're gonna put it all together and get it to be a combination of the new Egypt.
We're speaking with Ahmed Tharwat. He's host of Beladan on Worldview with Dennis Campbell. Ahmed, the big difference this time, though, is that there was the removal of an elected president by force. What's the chance that this could lead to civil war in Egypt?
I think is still far-fetched to have a civil war in Egypt. To have a civil war, you need to have two groups, two different ideology, and they were armed to teeth. But I think the majority of the population are not really agreed on one ideology. And besides, the military, I mean, they're not armed. Yeah, there is some bridge of security here and there, but it really it doesn't have the looks of full-fledged civil war, and there's still the military is still intact, and this is another way, one of the few institutions that survived all of this. So I'm not sure. There'll be a lot of turmoil, but civil war, it's very hard to see or predict.
A key concern, though, was how under Morsi, Egypt was using religion to divide the people. Talk a bit about how that was working or was not working.
Well, I mean, a lot of people say that he is the Brotherhoodization of Egypt, but I think one of his biggest problems that he tried to play with everybody. And he didn't stick really to ideology that's clear. I mean, he played with the international community, World Bank. He played with the Americans. He played with the Israelis. He's played with everybody. I mean, it seems like he lost, his own vision. I mean, if he was clear and about telling us that he has an Islamic vision, I think this was a chance for moderate Islam to replace jihadists and political Islam. And I think this is some of the ways maybe Obama was supporting Brotherhood all over the Arab world as an alternative to Al-Qaeda and jihadists. And I think a lot of people ask if this is the end of political Islam, and I think this is the end. If this happened that way, that they really eliminated the Brotherhood, that will be the end of moderate Islam.
Well, one of you talk about moderate Islam. Many, I think, yourself, I've seen on some of the things that you've put out there, were very upset with the way in which women in Egypt were being treated by this Morsi regime. I mean, during the protests, the incidents of sexual assault were disturbingly high. Is this change now a good sign for Egyptian women? Are they likely to become more involved?
I don't think, women has any, had a different treatment or different situation under Morsi. I mean, this is the whole breakdown of, the safety and security, and a lot of people say the other way around. I mean, most of the sexual harassment happened in Tahrir Square and the area where anti-Morsi protest, and not a single incident in pro-Morsi protest. The role of women and the women's status in Egypt is bigger than Morsi and bigger than Brotherhood. It's more culture and more history and more complicated than just having a Brotherhood or not. And I think, like everything else, women have been liberated and they've been demanding their rights, and that's why we hear a lot about this thing. This thing's been going on for a long, long time under Morsi or before Morsi.
Well, we're going to be watching what develops very closely over the next several months. Thanks for joining us here, Ahmed.
You need another book for unshackling Egypt here.
Thank you, and hopefully Egypt's not going to need another 11 years to sort itself out.
The unshackled will be shackled, by the way.
I think we're not too far. I think we're not too far away from actually writing at least a follow-on edition for the last 2.5 years.
Well, thank you so much.
Ahmed Tharwat is the host and producer of the Arab Muslim American TV show Beladan. That literally translates in English to With Open Arms. And he joined us today from his home in Minneapolis. You're watching Worldview with Dennis Campbell. Stay right here.